You have the notebooks, 11 of them maybe. Different colors, different systems, all started with the same fresh page hope. You have the app that turns your habits into neat little green squares. You have read the books. The productivity one, the mindset one. The one about tiny changes and becoming 1% better every day. You are, by every visible measure, someone who is working on themselves. So why does it still feel like you haven't started? I know that feeling because it's mine. For years, my mornings began the same way. Journal open on the kitchen table. 5 minutes of gratitude before the coffee finished brewing. A habit tracker taped to the inside of my closet door. Little boxes waiting to be filled in black ink. I read constantly. Not novels. The other kind. The kind that promises, if you just understand one more framework, one more principle, something in you will finally click into place and stay there. People who knew me thought I had it together. They'd ask about my routine like it was something to admire. And some days I let myself believe them. I bought a course in March. I don't remember what it promised anymore. Only that buying it felt like relief. Like I had already done something, even though I hadn't opened a single lesson. That's the part I never noticed at the time. The buying was the point, not the doing. The 11th Notebook is the one that stopped me. I was standing in a stationery aisle, holding it, already picturing the first page. The promise I'd write there, the version of me who would finally follow through this time. And something in me just went quiet. I had bought this exact hope 10 times before. Not the notebook, the hope. I put it back on the shelf and stood there a long moment under the fluorescent light, not deciding anything, just noticing for the first time how long I had been almost starting. Here is the thing nobody tells you about working on yourself for years without ever quite arriving. It was never really about becoming better. It was about staying inside a version of the story, where becoming better was still possible, still ahead of me, still something I hadn't really tried yet. Because as long as I hadn't really tried, I hadn't really found out whether I was enough. I never said that part out loud. Not to anyone. If I stopped improving, I would have to test it. I would have to sit still long enough to find out whether the version of me that already existed, tired, unfinished, in a dozen visible ways, was allowed to just be enough, not eventually. Now as I was. Some part of me was not ready to risk that answer being no. So I kept preparing instead. Preparing has the shape of progress, the books on the shelf, the tracker on the door, the plan for Monday. But underneath all of it, I was using the preparing itself to avoid the one thing that actually terrified me, arriving and finding out. I watched people who seemed to have it easier, people who took a Tuesday off and didn't spend it wondering what they should be optimizing instead, people who rested without earning it first. I told myself they were different, luckier, built some other way. I know now they had just stopped waiting for permission. I had never given myself any. I could list every framework I'd studied and still not tell you honestly what I was working toward. Not anymore. Somewhere along the way, the goal had quietly become the working itself. The identity of someone who is always becoming. Arriving would have ended that identity. And some days it felt safer to keep becoming forever than to risk finding out who I was underneath it. I was waiting to deserve the rest I already needed. The shift wasn't dramatic. I didn't burn the notebooks or quit my routines in one clean gesture. That would have just been another project, another thing to optimize. It was smaller than that. One evening, I didn't open anything. No book, no app, no plan for tomorrow's better version of me. I just sat there in the unfinished feeling and let it stay unfinished. I didn't fix it. I didn't even try. Nothing happened. That was the part I wasn't ready for. Nothing collapsed. I didn't get worse. I was still just here. Still me. Still somehow enough for one quiet evening to exist without earning it first. I didn't stop wanting to grow. I don't think that part ever fully goes away. And I'm not sure it should. I just stopped needing it to mean I wasn't enough yet. I still have a notebook. I still pick up a book some weeks. I still feel that old pull to fix something before I've even named what's actually wrong. Some days it's loud. The pull to optimize, to become, to finally be the version I keep almost arriving at. It still shows up, especially on the hard days, especially late at night when the apartment is quiet and the habit tracker is still taped to the door. But I don't take it as proof anymore. It's just a feeling passing through, not a verdict. If you have the notebooks too, the color-coded tracker, the half-read books, the course you bought in some other March and never opened, I'm not telling you to stop. I'm telling you that you don't have to finish becoming anyone to be allowed to rest right now. You already are someone. That was never actually in question.